So you're here because you understand calories by majority will dictate your fat loss. Great. Let me show you a quick tutorial, everything you need to know to track your calories. Don't worry, I'll go step by step. Step one, download Myfitnesspal and go through their initial onboarding steps that they require. Keep in mind, they will give you recommendations on how many calories to eat in total and how many fats, carbs, and protein to also eat each day. Do not worry about any of these recommendations that they give you. They are oftentimes way off the mark and not considerate of your goals of building muscle. Step two is to find and get used to the necessary tabs that you will need in order to use this app effectively. There's really only two tabs you need to be familiar with. I will go over these now.
All right, you just logged into MyFitnessPal and you're on the dashboard. You'll see your steps, your exercise calories, your weight, and other metrics. Don't necessarily worry about this tab, but go to Food Log, which is the next tab to the right at the bottom. This is where you're going to see your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and where you will be adding your food for the day. The second and final tab you need is the More button, all the way to the right bottom. Click that and then select Nutrition. This nutrition section under the More tab is going to be where you find where your protein, your carbohydrates, and your fats are for the day in grams. So you don't necessarily need to worry about carbs or fat at the moment, but just protein. And when you're looking at the tabs at the top, you're going to see calories, nutrients, and macros. Only really worry about the nutrients tab at the top. And that's where you're going to find where you're at for protein for the day.
Step three. This step is when you finally get to put this app to the test and start gaining experience and calorie awareness around the foods you're already eating. Take 1 week to just get in the habit of tracking everything you normally eat and drink that has calories. Everything that is already in your pantry or already in your refrigerator. No need to go grocery shopping or upend any current eating habits. Let's just focus on creating one habit at a time, and that is tracking. Don't worry about how many calories you should or shouldn't be eating. Just create the habit of logging your food within your MyFitnessPal food diary. This habit is so important to get down, so make sure not to rush through this worrying about too many things at once, like trying to track a certain amount of calories or macronutrients, especially if this is your first time tracking your intake. In this video, I will show you how to track a home-cooked meal, ingredient by ingredient, making sure to log the right portion sizes, which is very important for the accuracy of what you are tracking.
So for this example, we're going to be logging a typical American dinner. So let's go to Food Log, add food at dinner, and search, let's say, steak. And to be more specific, a steak tenderloin. If you also have the brand name of that steak tenderloin, search that as well and find whatever option suits what you're actually eating. Once we find a suitable option, we're going to click Add and make sure we select the appropriate portion size. So whether you're eating 4 ounce, 6 ounce, make sure to log the serving size and number of servings appropriately. This is super important and where most people go wrong. Next, we're going to be searching one of our sides, which happens to be a baked potato. And once again, if you can just search the brand name of this potato or the type of potato, that'd be great. More specific, the better. And choose hopefully one of these green check options, which means it's a verified source and has accurate information. And again, make sure we're searching the appropriate size and weight if you happen to have a food scale. If you don't, let's just guess. Now let's search the second side, which happens to be green beans. And once we find them, again, the appropriate portion size logged. And then, of course, we must add the sides that also contain calories, actually a lot of calories per serving, which happens to be butter. The butter you put on your green beans, the butter you put on your baked potato. Do not forget these additions like olive oil or butter or any sides that happen to contain calories like sauces.
Step four. This is an optional bonus step that I decided to include because I know for many of you, the foods you normally consume may be foods from restaurants, fast food chains, gas stations because of your specific career or time constraints. And that is totally fine. There's nothing inherently bad about eating out at restaurants or food chains, especially if you are aware of the calories you're consuming. All foods can be eaten in moderation while still making progress. So let's say you're on a lunch break at work and have Chick-fil-A in walking distance that you're used to going to with all of your coworkers at lunch. This is actually a great fast food place to go for a high protein meal. Let's say you usually get a spicy chicken sandwich, fried with waffle fries on the side, maybe with a Coke. Now looking over the total calories, I have a bit of a tip for you, which I've learned through years of tracking that enables me to save on calories while still enjoying meals out at restaurants. This tip is to opt for more calorie-friendly protein options. So instead of the fried chicken sando, I'd opt for the grilled chicken sando or even a 2 times 8-piece grilled chicken nuggets if I'm really hungry. This will enable more protein for the calories I'm consuming, along with maybe a simple switch to a diet soda, which will also save a ton on calories. But keep in mind, you don't have to swap for lower calorie or higher protein options if you don't want to. But if at the end of the day you find yourself hungry and don't have any calories left when you do have a calorie goal, you may now see the benefit of making simple food choice swaps to ensure you manage your total calorie intake and protein goals while feeling full.